Hello, hello, hello everybody. We are back once again to finish up the DPG receipt chain for the Cafe and Diner archives. I'm your hostess, Madam Hellfire, and let's get right into it with CDPG09. It's another passworded one, and the password hint is home is where the heart is. And you can find that in CDPG08. That's one word. If I'm not mistaken, there was a thing in there at the very end that I didn't recognize, and it said callus. I'm correct. Freaking sweet. Alright, this is written by 17. The callus? Wow. That is rather extraordinary, isn't it? I suppose the new kids might not know what that is. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if number 53 and 62 were unaware as well. Callus is essentially another plane of the other side. Though it is not a standard plane like Morningstar, Infernus, Hunter Skald, Esther Skald, Maida, or Mammon. It is a bit of an anomaly, to be honest. It might be an entirely separate plane, or it might just be a region of the Infernus. No one is quite sure. What is known about the callus is that it is a realm where anything you could ever wish for manifests instantly. Thus, it is rather ironic that it is connected to Infernus, the plane of carnal greed. As for why no one knows what the callus is exactly, no one can enter it. The prevailing theory is that to enter the callus, one must have no desires at all. This includes the urge to eat, sleep, and breathe. As you may have guessed, this makes the callus entirely off limits for any living being. Inanimate objects have no problem entering the callus, which is how this theory came about. What could a rock want? Nothing, and thus it can pass over into callus. Though we do know that some living creatures do inhabit the bountiful plains, as they have been observed frolicking about on the other side of the Callus Divide. And Mr. Dominic may be one such creature. I have no idea how he could leave the Callus, nor why he would want to, though I suppose by virtue of him being there, he couldn't care he was in there in the first place. Assuming he is a cryptid from the Callus, that more than explains the agency's interest in him, psychic powers notwithstanding. I wonder, could he possibly have the same powers that enable the callus to form anything one desires? If so, that is dangerous. Doubly so in the hands of Alpha. The good news is, if the pseudogoat is from Callus, assuming we have a way to get him back over the divide, he'll be safe from 5 and anyone who would want him by the very nature of Callus's restriction. I'll get in touch with some contacts and see if any of them have a way to get Francois back into Infernus without alerting 5 or Mauve of our intentions. That's very interesting. Let's see where this goes with CPG 10. Mic check 113. Can you hear me completely? This is a knowledge one, and the only way I think I can figure this out is if I use the wiki. Apologies if this is a little bit jank. I had to take some screenshots of the wiki page because it has been going down intermittently the last few weeks, and I wanted to kind of get ahead of that if I could. So I took some screenshots of the answers and the clues for each receipt and several of the receipt chains to be kind of ahead of the game. It says, why 113 and what does completely mean? Clue 2 is less complete and more everything. What's 1 plus 1 plus 3? Okay, so that's 5. I assume the answer is 5, and I'm correct. This was written by 1313, and it looks like it is another one of those transcript receipts. So why don't we go ahead and read that through? It says, no one told me that 5 was like actually 5 or 10. Whatever. She's like an actual kid. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, I guess little kids with major psychic powers is a total horror movie thing, right? Children of the Corn or whatever. Did they have psychic powers? I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention when me and Red were watching it. Anyway, we dealt with 5 and our goons. Hopefully number 26 and 71 were able to hold up their ends of the plan. Here is the transcript itself. 5. Really? This is the ultra secret cafe and diner? It's a literal cafe? Number 53. What were you expecting, 5? We keep telling you guys that we're just a generic combination coffee from 5. And diner. Yes, surely there's more to this facility. Where are you hiding the pseudogoat? Mr. Dominic. 1313. I would hardly say we are hiding him. 5. You can't be serious. This is the cafe and diner? Number 53. What you see is what you get, kiddo. 5. Do not call me kiddo. Number 53. Sorry. Rugrat. Urchin. Anklebiter. Brat. 5 grabbed number 53 telepathically around his neck. 53. Someone missed nap time. 5. Get the goat now. The Quebecers captured Mr. Dominic. 5 then slammed number 53 against the ground. 5. I wonder what Alpha would do now that we know where your little cafe is, Well, as always, it's been fun. Number 53. Has it? Multiple targets have left the CADCOM transcript range. 1313. You okay, number 53? Number 53. Yeah, I'm fine. Not the first time I've ruffled 5's feathers and ended up on the wrong side of a forced choke. 1313. What's the deal with her anyway? She's like, number 53. 10? Yeah. Psychic prodigy. The story is notorious for scooping up troubled kids and molding them into agents. 5, though, she's one of Alpha's more deadly child soldiers. Something to do with her pineal gland and number 1313. Haha, pineal. Do you think it worked, though? 53, I hope so. She seemed mad enough to notice the pain, at least. I'd say we bought the old man and Flower just enough time to send the real kid home. 1313, if not, number 53. Fub will probably psych this dummy Café to the ground. Which is a shame. I really like this one. And considering Alpha might just buy that this is our real digs, well, that could come in handy. And that's the end of the transcript. So why don't we go ahead and go to the very last one in this receipt chain. So the password for this one is not funny haha, funny caca. And it was something in the last receipt. I think the only thing they laughed at was pineal. And I'm right. So this is the last receipt. Had paid for DPG care of 26, 17, 53, and 1313. And this is from employee number 26, and the very last receipt says, that couldn't have gone any better. Well, I suppose Shell didn't need to be tossed around, but then again, I think it might be good for his ego. Secret and I were able to slip our little buddy back into his rightful home in the Kalis, no problem. Well, mild problems. But nothing we weren't able to handle. We were accosted by some kind of cult dwelling in the caverns of the Infernus. Also, getting to the Infernus was a bit of a nightmare, and then finding a spot in the Kalis Divide that wasn't already being guarded or experimented on by mob's prizes. So, I guess first off, yeah, there was some sort of cult or something. Not even Secret know who or what they were, so they're pretty secret. I guess you have to be if you're living in the caverns of Infernus right under mob's nose. But once we explained what we were doing, they let us go. They didn't seem to want to draw unnecessary attention to themselves, and neither did we. Though I suspect Secret will want to go back and properly rub elbows with these guys. And then once we got to the actual divide, it was hard to find a spot that wasn't already swarmed with guys, but eventually we found a nice little hidden spot and let Francois run back off into his idyllic home. It's pretty crazy, huh? To live without any desire at all, even the most basic necessities of life. I don't know if that's really the secret to passing into the Kalis. It seemed to me that Francois was always more than eager for food and head scratches. Maybe he didn't want them, but he was happy to have them. I don't know. No one really does, right? Maybe the secret of the Kalis is something we aren't supposed to know. I mean, can you imagine anyone getting that kind of raw power? And that's the end of the DPG receipt chain. This has actually been the most interesting receipt chain that we've dealt with, and it's the first one that actually has a cryptid in it. It actually has some sort of interaction between the cryptid and all the other entities outside of the cafe and diner, which was so refreshing to me. I'm really happy I got through this one, and I'm really happy you were able to do it with me. So I'll see you in the next one. Sweet nightmares. I just wanted to take the time to thank my Patreons and channel members. Your support is so appreciated. If you are not a channel member or Patreon and you would like to become one, there's a link in the description below. All channel members and Patreons receive 24 hours early access to all content posted on both of my channels. And all Patreons or channel members of the $10 Hellhound tier can request one horror-related video or stream topic, or one horror-related game that I play on my live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Again, thank you so much for supporting the channel and the content that I make.